I don't know. I wouldn't know how he's feeling. Like I would hope he would think about it and this would be in his mind. But I wouldn't actually know what another person is feeling at this time. You just can think that this person knows. And
even Solange's son, the Daniel kid, he says he doesn't have a great relationship with Beyonce, Jay-Z. What do you feel someone coming out saying, "Hey, Jay-Z's my father"? What does that person want from a Hov if he's saying he does not care?
To prove that his mother wasn't a liar, because that's what they said his entire life while she was alive.
Rymir Carter has dedicated the majority of his life to seeking answers. He has been attempting to establish that Jay-Z is his biological father for more than 10 years, and he is currently 32. However, the more you read about this subject, the worse it becomes. Particularly in light of the alleged treatment of Rhymir's mother by Jay-Z. Wanda, the mother of Rhymir, was just 16 years old in 1992. Jay-Z was in his 20s when she first met him. After Wanda became pregnant, their brief romance took a drastic turn. Jay-Z is said to have vanished when she attempted to contact him regarding the baby. Nothing, no touch, no support.
I was there, I was present, I heard it come out of her mouth. Wanda was a minor. A minor when she got pregnant with Rhymir. And like Wanda always said, he picked her up in Philly, but he took her to New York across state lines to bed her while she was allegedly underage. Even though Lily was present when Rhymir was born. She was very clear on the fact that Wanda was a minor when she was pregnant with Rhymir.
It gets worse. At the time, Wanda was too young to give her consent in Pennsylvania. To make matters worse, there are allegations that she was transported from Philadelphia to New York, which is across state lines. The possibility of criminal charges arises if that is accurate, because it is a major offense, not merely a poor choice.
I don't know. I think his mom was underage or something when he was born, so I think that's probably...
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it.
Yeah.
But like I said again, it's not the same as now.
But is the mom still alive?
No, she died. She died.
Huh.
She was 15 when she had him.
Oh. How old was Jay?
Like 20-something, I guess.
Oh.
Like 20, probably early 20, like 24.
We don't know if it's true. This is just...
No, but I'm saying he took the DNA thing with the... It was ancestry type shit. I think it, like somebody popped up on it, like, because you got different kids that's at different places. I mean, my thing is this: if I got $1 billion, right, I would want to have a lot of kids. You my kid? I got so much money. I don't give a fuck if you my kid or not.
You get some sperm. You get some sperm.
No, you get some sperm. I'm saying, if you are my kid, I f your mom. You my kid. Even if I want to be around you, don't want to see you, don't want to. If I want the world to know,
right? But think about the headline.
For a while, Wanda hid the truth from Rhymir. But as he grew older, she finally sat down with him and told him everything. Rhymir then embarked on his own quest to discover the truth for sure. However, it appeared that Jay-Z's legal staff made it more difficult for him to proceed with the case each time. Lawyers changed, papers vanished. It was difficult to contact judges. Someone seems to want this to be permanently buried.
Spoke on, the love child, Rhymir, Jay-Z, he's come out and said, like, this is just long-term harassment, man. He's like, this thing is just won't go away.
Long-term harassment. You know how disrespectful that is to a man that looks almost identical to you?
Yeah, that's his child. That's very disrespectful. I mean,
to a man that chances are, just out of nowhere, random universal selection, this boy who's not related to you has your nose, has your mouth, has your brow line, has your hairline, same straight knobby knees, is like all of this just by accident. Just by accident. It's just a coincidence that this man looks like he could be your Irish twin. Are you kidding me? I'll tell you what I do know. I do know that I have listened to actual commentary from his godmother, Lily, who sat with a friend of mine, Liz Crokin.
Jay-Z has never had a DNA test to date. Rhymir claims that he only wants the truth and not money. However, rather than receiving answers, he has faced silence, legal delays, and now a purported gag order intended to silence him. Jay-Z seemed to be making every effort to keep this under wraps.
I think the girl like Tasha K. She got a Jay-Z son on there.
Oh, his alleged son?
No. If you talk to him personally, that's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. You know what I think his son? First of all, Jay-Z offered him money. At first, he offered him bread, like, and everything. But his aunt, this is like his caretaker, didn't like approve of it. She said no. Jay-Z got a lien on her house, all type of shit that was going on. Yeah, the lady put up paperwork and everything with his name on it and all that. I mean, but young boy's so thorough though. He just want a dad. He not trying to get no money. He not trying to do none of that. I mean, that's why. So I told him when he called me 2 years ago. I said, listen, I don't want to be the one to tell your story because they're gonna think I'm trying to catch rep off of it. So let me let you tell your story somewhere else first. I mean, then I can talk about it. But he called me like 2 years ago, telling me like, I said, oh, young boy. He's like, I just want a dad. I don't want no money. I'm already 18. I think he was like 20 something at the time. But something happened to him, and I was like, yo, that sounds kind of weird. He said he was coming out from work, going to work, and it was a gun in his car. Like when he opened the door, he seen the gun. He said he went to go call his man, like, yo, did you leave a gun in my car? His man's like, no. He said, why you on the phone talking to his man? The cops pull up and lock him up. He said, he told the cops, no, that's not my gun. He's like, so he went in the building he was in, and they seen somebody pulled up and put the guns in his car.
Oh.
And pulled off. I said, bro, I don't know nobody in the hood that got guns to just waste like that to do that. I don't know what. He's like, yeah, so like Jay-Z had a gag order against him, like trying to get a gag order and trying to. If my thing is, if this is not my son, I'll just take a test, get over with.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you dodged it and whatever, to me,
Don't nobody want to talk about the other kids that everybody denies don't exist and whatever. To be a billionaire that can't get a loan is one thing. But to be a broke billionaire and a deadbeat dad, that's something different.
Yeah. Even Solange's son, the Daniel kid, he says he doesn't have a great relationship with Beyonce, Jay-Z. What do you feel someone coming out saying, hey, Jay-Z's my father? What does that person want from a Hov if he's saying he does not care?
To prove that his mother wasn't a liar, because that's what they said his entire life while she was alive. Denying him makes her a liar. That woman was on the phone with the judge who was harassing her, telling her, demanding that she stop filing for paternity when she gave way and died. His mama died on the phone. Trying to get proper acknowledgement for him. If your mama died like that, would you just sit around and let people keep calling her a liar? That's how your mama died, with a judge yelling at her. And turns out now, all of these judges were bought off and paid off, and they're going to be looking at sanctions and probably charges. Because what they did was illegal.
And Beyonce is next. She has allegedly been attempting to preserve Jay-Z's reputation from the beginning, according to several familiar with the situation. According to one insider, Rhymir was urged to leave her camp by someone. Shortly thereafter, someone arrived at Rhymir's house. Coincidence? Maybe. However, it certainly does not feel that way. For his part, Rhymir has consistently maintained that Jay-Z is his father. After his alleged father left him and his mother, he once even mentioned how perilous life was for him in Philadelphia.
I don't know how he's feeling. Like I would hope he would think about it and this would be in his mind. But I wouldn't actually know what another person is feeling at this time. You just can think that this person knows and thinking about it and stuff like that. I really want to know. So my mom did tell me she went in there and filed a fraternity test. And it just, basically I can say it was a whole lot of running around with that case. It was a whole lot of things that wasn't, what can I say, we didn't have enough information to push the case. That's what I basically can say. We didn't have enough information to keep the case going. So it was a big case to me because, you know, I really wanted to find out who my father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it, I really thought it was going to go different than what it was. But, well, I really feel like it should have been over with because, you know, I feel like if it was anybody else, you know, like, oh, I'm not saying just because people got higher standards or people make more money than that, but it's just different because, you know, if it was anybody else that made a low income, I feel like they would have had them in there way faster than people that's wealthy. I really try not to get frustrated, you know, basically. I really try not to think about it, you know, I go on with my life because, you know, anything could happen, but, you know, I still gotta live for myself at the end of the day. You know, I still gotta work and bring an income for me. You know, I can't sit around, you know, I gotta get up off my feet and do something. You know, I can't wait on the world. Like, I can't say, you know, I can't wait on anybody to want to respond when they want to. It is important that I know who my biological father is, just because, you know, my mom's health, I don't know if it's coming from our family or it's coming from the other side, and that would be something I really would want to find out because, you know, in the future, you don't know what could happen. And a lot of people are so quick to judge because they see somebody coming out and try to find out if the person that, you know, trying to find out things, they so negative to push you down. Like, you know, people are just so quick to judge a person that's a low, I wouldn't say low income, but somebody that doesn't have it, and somebody that does, they always think, you know, you coming after that person's money, or they never look at the full story and things like that. It was rough, you know, living in Philadelphia. You know, it was a hard city. Like, you know, it started to get wilder as the years went on. Like, you know,
Have you ever been in a situation where you were almost killed?
I have been. I wouldn't say the crossfire was for me, but it was people. Like, it was a couple shootings that I have been around, but it wasn't for me. Like, it wasn't intended for me or nothing like that. It's just, you know, it's dangerous down there.
One question keeps popping up as all of this is happening. Why does Jay-Z refuse to just submit to the DNA test? It is a simple method to end this if he is not the father. Instead, he has spent years fighting it in court and spending an unknown amount of money to avoid what may be a straightforward solution.
Like, it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot. And seeing a lot. I could take me being embarrassed. Like, this can't take nobody not saying nothing. Like, you know, it's not fair. It was 7. My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now, and she been saying Sean Carter. That's what she was calling him at first before she was calling it Jay-Z. And I really didn't know who that was because I was young and, you know, had my little brother, and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but I really just was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know it is. This person is your father, and I just want you to know. And she continued to tell me that over the years and over the years and over the years, even till I was grown. He never tried to contact me in any type of way, and that's all I'm asking is, like, 'cause I honestly really want the case to be over with. Like, I've been going through, just like I said, a lot, and as I said, I'm not chasing nobody. I'm not trying to do this to make somebody seem like a bad person, a bad father. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over with. I work every day. I also have my own kids to take care of. So it's like, it's been a journey for me, and it's just like, you know, I just got so much on my name right now. I never ask for money. I don't do interviews just saying, hey, Jay-Z, give me your money, or I'm coming at the Jay-Z for his money. I never did that. I'm not that type of person. I work for everything. Next is, I'm just trying to basically make sure no other kids or nobody else in the world has to go through this. Basically, don't feel afraid to go to court and see if a person is your biological parents. You know, so many people are scared, and this is a big thing in the world. A lot of people don't have their fathers because they scared to go out and search for them.
The way Rhymir's mother was handled is what people remember the most. One of the most influential men in music supposedly deserts a young girl who is still in her teens when she becomes pregnant. No assistance, no responsibility, and no acknowledgement. And silence when her son gets old enough to ask for the truth. A judge decided a while back that the paternity case may now proceed. Jay-Z has to reply by the 18th of July. Even the case's filing dealt Jay-Z a serious blow. We are discussing billion-dollar brands, well-known reputations, and an impeccable legacy up to this point. Jay-Z is dealing with more than simply a paternity accusation, if even a portion of this is accurate. Everything he has created could be destroyed by the scandal he is facing. What is the worst? It all began with his alleged treatment of a teenage girl and her son more than 30 years ago. Although Beyoncé had remained silent, insiders said she was incensed. It was careless because Jay did not handle it before the Carter brand was well known, before Blue Ivy was winning Grammys, and before Parkwood Entertainment was a billion-dollar company, not because he cheated, which was not news. This posed a threat to legacy in addition to becoming a controversy. Scooper Storm Monroe claims that the relationship between the Carters is actually extremely tense.
Jay-Z, over the course of his career, and I have to still say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know. For some reason, y'all like to conveniently forget what age Foxy Brown was when he was with her. Y'all like to forget that he was rolling with R. Kelly and they was doing a lot of things together. Y'all like to forget a lot of that, right? But good PR, good marketing, and the fact that Jay-Z got a lot of this industry on lock, so he's able to keep a lot of things hush-hush. He's very powerful, and Beyonce is too, but they are still black, and this industry is not. The people that run it, they are not, okay? So when they're done with you and it's your turn to be exposed, you're going to be exposed too. So long story short, I told y'all Diddy was first, but they're not done with him. More people are going to come out. What I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time. So they together, but they living separate. And part of the reason why they're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it, and he knows it too. As far as who's gonna be the breakout victim / story, I don't know. Yeah, I might have to ask Jason Lee. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know that once that comes out and Jay-Z is exposed for his nefarious past, you're gonna see Beyonce divorce. Okay, and she may or may not do an interview, but you're gonna their publicist is gonna release something. She's gonna say, "Oh, the Carters have been separated for some time. They built this beautiful life, blah 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 blah." Now, before all this happens, we may get another tour. We may get another album out of both of them. I don't know, because at the end of the day, they about their money first. They're gonna do what's best for business first. As far as Beyonce is concerned, do she love him? I mean, he's really all that she knows. She was ready to leave him years ago, but the industry it's different. And I don't want to say it's an Illuminati contract, because I don't know how the Illuminati get down. I really don't know. And I'm not going to lie to you and say I do. But essentially, she's been stuck, right? But I believe this is going to be her chance to get out. And according to what I heard, if certain things that I can't even speak on come out, she gone. She's gonna protect her image. All right. And this, I don't know what would be the bigger divorce, Will and Jada or Beyonce and Jay-Z. But just know everybody's gonna be talking about it.
Rhymir was not going to back down back in Philadelphia. He was toughened by the death of his mother, Wanda, who was pleading for justice over the phone with a court. With Jay-Z's eyes, the youngster had matured into a man who had nothing left to lose. The battle was now about truth, corruption, and power, rather than merely paternity. Then the leak appeared. Before it went viral on Twitter, a confidential affidavit was posted on the shadowy reaches of Reddit by an anonymous court clerk who may have been paid off or simply frustrated. According to the document, a judge had secretly ordered a sealed DNA test in 2011. 99.98% of the results match. However, the order was never put into effect. Additionally, Jay-Z would be in a particularly unpleasant predicament because a court ruling would require an inquiry into a potentially inappropriate relationship, something he has already been accused of with Foxy Brown.
I don't know where you was at back in the 80s or early 90s, Vlad, but my neighborhood, every girl that was bad, that's 16 and 15, 17, had old head boyfriends. They had the Benzes, the big ropes, so and it wasn't frowned upon. It was just regular. That's how it went. So yeah, I mean, so like the time era back then, not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying the time era back then, if he was doing that, it was cool to do back then. And like now it's everybody politically correct and you can't do that stuff. But I know even when I was a young boy, I had my little girlfriends. They all had an old head boyfriend that they was messing with. You know what I mean? Like they old head boyfriend. They just buy them clothes, don't really take them somewhere, whatever stuff you can't do, and they mess with you. It's for real. I mean, but that's just how I went. I mean, but now this world is like, you know what I mean? You gotta can't do stuff like that. But that's how I always went. So if they compare today's era with, if he did that with Foxy Brown back in the day, it's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, she's not saying anything happened. They were just...
Plus, he put her on. She got on.
However, Jay's legal team allegedly used a technicality to have the Wanda case suppressed, and the judge who approved it retired 6 months later, purchasing a $3 million Turks and Caicos estate through an LLC. The connotation was obvious. The harm was already done when TMZ and CNN picked it up. Instagram was overflowing with pictures of Rhymir and Jay-Z side by side. On X, Deadbeat Billionaire became popular. The billionaire version of the Maury comedy was even hinted at on Saturday Night Live. I tried to tell everyone that it was never meat, while 50 was enjoying champagne on a yacht off the coast of Miami and annotating a picture. It was my responsibility. This is not just a hip-hop drama anymore. Bloodlines, brands, and billions are at stake in this conflict. The entire globe is observing. Rhymir's federal case against the rap legend was dropped on the 27th of July, but what is really interesting is that he stated there is more going on than what the public perceives. I did withdraw my complaint, the 30-year-old clarified in a video that was uploaded to Instagram. Instead of playing checkers, we had to take a step back and play chess. It was not a capitulation. There was a pause. Rhymir stated unequivocally that he will not give up.
That he is currently suing his first biological son to quiet him and put a gag order on him. Why would he be doing that? I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that Rhymir's mother was a minor when she conceived Rhymir with Mr. Carter, who was a grown adult. What kind of family man is that? You don't want anyone to know, you or your wife, don't want anyone to know who your actual biological children are, because most of them were created with minors while you were an adult. He's been in court with this young man for the past decade, fighting taking a DNA test. If he's not your kid, take the DNA test. Simple. The young man is not your son. Why have you spent so much money trying not to take a DNA test? Take the DNA test if he ain't your kid. You such a proud family man. While you fight back the truth about your firstborn biological son, because you don't want nobody to know that his mama was barely 15 when you made her a mother and you were a grown man. I'm here.
Yeah.
Him and Blue Ivy got the same mouth.
I'm hoping he got paid. I'm hoping he got something for this, and that's why he's going away, but it don't look like it. But then if Jay-Z does give him a settlement, he's not going to talk about it publicly. I don't know. But who are we to get mad at Rhymir if his life was really being threatened and he like, you know what? I'm gonna just go and withdraw. Because here's the thing, right? Jay-Z has a certain image, and Jay-Z has been able to keep this story quiet, keep it hush hush, but there is something to it. Even if he's not this biological man, because it's a grown man, biological man's father, he must have slept with his mother. Like, he know who his mother is. Because if this was just a complete stranger and you had never slept with his mama, you would have been like, I didn't know who your mother was. Like, I have no clue what you're talking about. And you wouldn't give a damn about giving us some DNA. Or you would at least come out and say, I don't know who you are. So what I will say is that between Rhymir's mother, his late mother, and Jay-Z, there must have been a relationship. And see, the problem with you, Jay-Z, when you was in your 20s, you was dicking and dodging. You was giving out meat everywhere. Let's just keep it real. A dude like Jay-Z, you was Jay-Z. You started off being what, Jazzy, then it went to Jay-Z. You was doing your thing. You got a bunch of kids up in Maryland and up in that area. You know what I mean? Allegedly, don't come for me. I'm just saying, did you really want us to believe that Blue Ivy was your first child, Jay-Z? Well, actually, Beyonce was pregnant before that with the baby. And I think they was going to name that baby Brooklyn. And then she lost that baby. And then she got pregnant with Blue when she was shooting the cover of the album 4. They were in Paris. They had some good early morning. And then Beyonce got up with his nuts still in her and went and shot the shot. And she was like, ooh, we just got it in last night and didn't know she was pregnant at the time. Okay, so I guess I'm a real Beehive fan. Anyway, with that being said, not me knowing your ovulation, I say all that to say, like, did you really want us to believe that Blue was your first child? Come on.
Rhymir was not suing for money from the past or child support. Rather, he stated that the issue concerned damages for his reputation and personal suffering. Using legal loopholes to keep the issue buried, he claimed that Jay-Z had committed fraud in court, misrepresented facts, and done all in his power to obstruct the truth. The federal case may have ended for the time being, but Rhymir's campaign is still burning brightly. He has stated that he is only switching to a new approach, and he is still determined to establish the link. Jay-Z's victory is only fleeting. The chessboard is still open, though. If Rhymir's assertions have any merit, the next move could be much more significant.